No, that's right.
Okay, we're on.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the disability meeting for March 2023. Please make your introductions for the record.
Deputy Deborah, representing the Commissioner Sewell.
John Dorset, designee from Pearl Bradley.
Ryan Berge, representing Mayor Eric Adams.
Dukes, representing Finance Commissioner Preston Black. Joe Alejandro, PBA.
Chris McGrath, PBA by invitation.
Mark Marino, PBA by invitation.
Oh, Nicole Jamboree, New York City Police Pension Fund, present by invitation.
Anthony Burley, SBA.
Edmund Small, SBA.
Jeffrey Ward,
DEA.
Nick Safuni as counsel for the CEA, LBA, SBA, and DEA by their invitation.
Lou Turco, LBA.
Johnny Ramirez, CEA. Nicholas Massey, DEA by invitation. Mark Skevich, Office of the Actuary by invitation.
Andy Vincenzo Miller, Police Pension Fund, present by invitation.
Bob Saskey, State Pension Fund, present by invitation.
Kevin Holleran, Police Pension Fund, present by invitation.
Police Officer Tricia Waller, present by invitation.
John Flynn, Police Pension Fund, invitation.
Kayla Desai, Police Pension Fund, present by invitation.
Monte Police Pension Fund, present.
Police Pension Fund by invitation.
Antoinette Williams, Police Pension Fund, present by invitation.
Okay, Law Department.
Yes, Marta Ross, Law Department, present by invitation of the Mayor's Office.
Aaron Trotter, Law Department, present by invitation of the Mayor's Office.
Okay, Joe.
Okay, public meeting, page 1, to accept the minutes of the previous meeting, Wednesday, February 8th, 2023, and to confirm the next meeting date, Wednesday, April 12th, 2023. Article 2, pages 2 through 22.
Joe, pages 2 through 22, nothing of a controversial nature.
Thank you, Jeff. So move. Sure. So for the preliminary results for your fiscal year 2024, preliminary calculation is $2.3 billion for the employer contribution. Just as a reminder, the way that's calculated, we take a snapshot of the data from some point in the past. So last June, we took a snapshot of the data. We performed our calculations. We came up with the employer contribution, rolled it forward with interest to the fiscal year that's starting July 1st. I just want to make a couple of comments regarding that. So on page 28 of the board packet has a little summary of the data used in that snapshot. And there was a milestone that occurred this year. If you look at the first number on page 28, the tier 1 number count is 0. So it's the first time we've shown 0. The last active tier 1 employee retired a couple days shy of age 71. So there was a milestone for the plan. And on page 34, I just wanted to touch briefly on this table of amortization payments. This is a table we provide every year. This is how your UAL, unfunded actuarial liabilities of $6.2 million are to be paid off. Wanted to kind of focus on the first row and the last row. The first row is the initial unfunded liability that was set up back in 2010 by one of my predecessors. That was the entire UAL at that point, and a 20-year payment plan was set up for that, increasing 3% a year. It's the biggest number on the page. All the other rows are all the gains and losses and changes to the unfunded that have occurred since then. And for this valuation, we added the last row on the bottom of the page, where you see a gain of $109 million. And you might be wondering, why is there a gain of 109? Because as of June 30th, 2022, there was a loss of like 7.1% in plan assets. Well, we're using a 5-year smoothing of assets. And the prior year, there was a gain of 26.4%. So if you take 1/5 of the prior year gain, that's bigger than 1/5 of this year's loss. So you end up with a net gain. So anyway, the reason I show this is like this, of the $2.3 billion, this page tells you how the $883 million payment for the unfunded is calculated. It also tells you what the sequence of future payments are going to be. So on the next page, this is a new page I added this year for you. No new information here, it just tabulates the results from the prior page. And it shows you what the payments are going to be for the unfunded until they all run out. And you can see in the graph below the payments that you've got this increasing sequence for 9 years of that initial unfunded going up 3% a year. It finally gets paid off, and you have this huge cliff where the employer's contribution goes from 1.4 billion to a credit of 402 million. And then you have credits that run out for the next 7 years. So that's kind of the takeaway from here. The current mechanism you have to pay off your unfunded of 6.2 billion is 9 years of increasing payments and then 7 years of refunds or credits. There are ways mathematically to reduce to combine this, to collapse this, to fresh start it, but I can't do it myself because it's in statute. But I bring this up as something for the board to consider for the future. And with that, I don't have any other statements. I do want to say we do have a resolution here for the board to adopt the preliminary contributions.
Mark, am I clear in the understanding that it would require a vote of the boards in order to change the assumption rate in order to lead to some of the savings, all of the savings here that you have projected?
I think it would be more than a vote of the board because it's in statute. The statute actually tells me how to amortize all these different rows on the previous page. So we would have to have new language that would allow me to combine all the previous rows and kind of create a new payment plan.
So clearly we need to have not just saying people at this table, we need to have discussions with others, maybe other trustees and other unions regarding what projected path we need to take.
So Joe, the changing of the AIR would require the state legislature. In the past, the boards have passed resolutions indicating either their support or no support for whatever the number that the actuary brings us. I don't believe that's inherent in this presentation today.
John, I'm not even going there. Not to cut you off, I'm not even going there.
Okay, I just want to make sure that
we're both on the same page.
Yeah.
It's clear though that there needs to be a vote indicating to the state legislature where the desire of the boards lead to. And I think you've absolutely said it on point. There's always been a vote of the boards to do that. And I think that's ultimately, while not in here, to make some of the changes that the actuary has mentioned, will need a vote of the board.
Yeah, I don't know if it's statutory that it needs a vote of the board. Historically, though, the boards have opined prior to it going all.
Past precedent is what dictates.
Yeah, I'm just being abundantly clear that I don't know if it's statutorily says in the law that it requires.
Always best to practice that the people who are the representing beneficiaries have a say in how the funds are utilized and invested, right?
No argument on that.
Okay, thank you.
So, just point of information though, what I believe Mark is talking about is not the AR, but about the manner in which the UAL created as part of Chapter 3 of 2013.
Not just the UAL, but every
And
law.
how Chapter
That's
One.
Okay, guys.
Sorry. But also like how benefit changes are amortized, how things are amortized.
Mm-hmm.
That's all Chapter 3 of 2013 as well, which is a totally separate chapter law than the AR chapter.
Okay. I get that. We're still talking about a vote of the board though. Okay.
No comment.
So we'd like a roll call vote on this.
Okay, PBA,
PBA respectfully abstains at this time.
DEA,
DEA votes yes.
SBA,
SBA votes yes.
LBA,
Yes.
CEA.
Yes.
Commissioner of Finance,
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
Controller,
Yes.
Police Commissioner.
Yes.
Okay, so moved.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mark. We appreciate all the hard work and of course, your exposition on this matter. Interesting. Potentially beneficial to both. Potentially beneficial. Yeah. Brian? Brian?
What up? Let's go, right? Do I have it on there? Pick up, as it goes.
This is all on the record.
Okay, hold on, let Mark go.
I'll be.
Oh, 4B.
Okay, what?
One second, I'm just making a notation, all right? Okay, all right, next item is a resolution, pages 44 through 46, regarding medical board legislation. TBA would like to table this at this time. Okay. And now I make a motion to go into executive session for purposes of discussing disability cases.
Second.
Okay, thank you.